Welcome to this time out with Marcus Ekure. You recall that we've been talking about prosperity as success in business, various kind of businesses you can do with or without capital. And I've been so concerned about this because the rate of poverty today is very alarming in our climate. You see poverty everywhere. People are poor. But I come to understand that the same effort people dispense to be poor is almost the same effort people dispense to be rich. In fact, it requires more effort to be poor than to be rich. So now the question is, why are people poor? Why do we have a lot of poor people around us? When the same effort it takes for you to be poor is what is required for you to be rich. So that is why I've been talking seriously, on this subject of prosperity, success in business. And one of the major hindrances people have been pointing to as challenge for not being in business today is capital. So that's why I've been hammering on this word capital. Capital. Businesses you can do without capital. So I've come to understand really that, there are a lot of conflicting shadows we have to resolve. There are a lot of misunderstanding we have to clear. Having given a lot of businesses people can do, I think I've spoken on about 10 actual businesses that you can do without that doesn't really require capital. But at this point, I want to clear, some misconceptions people are having about business and capital. And if we don't clear all these, no matter how you try, to implement some of all these things we've spoken to you about, you might not actually succeed. Now, misconception number one, which is very important about capital. If you ask people today, everybody gives lack of capital as an excuse for not being in business. That is it. And it is because they don't understand what is capital. Now, what is capital? Capital is just a facility. What you need to facilitate a business idea, your business plan, your business idea is what capital is all about. So, but many see capital from the angle of cash. That's fiat currency. That's just a microscopic part of capital. And we must understand this. It's very important. There are other kinds of capital. Now, we are only seeing it over time. We've always seen capital from just one part, which is the cash. Now, quickly in this video, I want to let you know that there are other kinds of capital, which are even much more important than even the fiat currency we are seeing as capital today. Now, there are 4 kinds of capital. I'm not going to explain them today, but I'm going to do another video in our next broadcast where I will give details about what these various kinds of capital are all about and what their significance. The 4 kinds of capital, you may not actually find this in any textbook. You may not find it in textbooks because there are a lot of things today that the university does not actually teach us. And that's why I have this suspicion that perhaps there are things that are hidden from the curriculum, or the curriculum in Africa or in Nigeria. Universities are actually obsolete. So we must get this very correctly. Now, capital number 1 is the money capital. You may call it fiat capital or fiat currency, and that's what a lot of people mistake as capital today. It's just a microscopic part of capital. Then capital number 2, you have spiritual capital. Like I said, I'm not going to be explaining them in details here, but in next broadcast, I'll do just that. Now, capital number 3 is sweat capital. Then capital number 4, which is much more important, the most important kind of capital anybody needs to start. This capital can start any kind of business, and that is goodwill capital. Some call it character capital. So these are the 4 major kind of capitals. So when you continually see capital as a fiat or maybe a currency or money capital as money, then is a very big mistake you are making. We must change our perspective in this regard. So that is misconception number 1 on capital. Then on business, there's another big mistake a lot of people make. Now they think Business is when you take your product to the market and you sell all the products. That's when you've made success in business. No. Now, the fundamental characteristic of business, what makes business business, is the profit. In other words, the fruits. That is what makes business business. So you might actually be in business and you are not in business. That's the word. Are you surprised? That's it. So what makes business business is the profit. Now, if you are doing a business and it's not yielding profit, you are in business, not business. I know someone is surprised. That is it. So we must understand this. Now, let me give you an instance. Now, Mr. A is a businessman. He goes to the market and buys a bag of gari, then takes this gari to the final consumers, sells this gari, and at the end of the day, ends up selling the gari for like perhaps 15,000 naira. Now, for this individual, he has made success. And success for the person is, I've made profit of 5,000 naira. But it's not actually true. You have not made profit of 5,000 naira because in the course of going to get this gari, you've spent a whole lot of money. You incurred expenses. Now, the fruit of this labor at the end of the day is when you subtract your capital and the expenses from the income you've generated from this business. If you have anything left, that becomes the fruit of your labor. Many don't get this. And that's why they keep hovering around a circle for years, thinking they are in business, but they are not in business. Until your business makes profit, you are not in business. You are just in business. That's what I'm talking about. Now, that is for Mr. A. Now, Mr. B does the same kind of business. And at the end, Mr. B sells the gari for, let's say, 20,000 naira. Mr. B understands that the profit for his business is not 10,000 naira because he has incurred a whole lot of expenses in the course of the business. And if all the expenses he has incurred, perhaps the phone calls, the money he or she spends on making phone calls, contacting various gari producers to find out the kind of gari gari they have, the money spent on transportation. Perhaps you have to even go through the waterways, engaging perhaps a boat or something to cross to the other parts. Some call it bush market or whatever to get, a cheaper gari and all that. So all these expenses put together, you have to subtract them, minus them from the revenue, which is the 20,000 naira. Then at the end of the day, whatsoever you are left with becomes the fruit of your labor. That's the profit of your business. And that's only when you can say you are in business. But for the Mr. A, who actually did the same kind of business and actually sold for 15,000, perhaps spent 5,000 naira in the cost of processing and getting this gari to market and everything, he did not make any profit. But he or she thinks, business has been done. But in that case, business has not been done. So what makes business is profit. That's the point I want you to understand. So whatsoever you are doing today, you think you are in business, you ask yourself, is there fruit in it? Am I making profit from this business? And if the answer is no, then you are in business, not business. Let's get that straight. I believe you've gotten the two misconceptions here. Now, in our next broadcast, we shall be talking further on this. We'll expatiate more on it, where I'll even get to make you understand why you can be paying tithes from your business and you are not getting the reward of tithing, the blessings of tithing. It's very deep. And what you don't know is bigger than you. So these things are very important. It's very important we understand them. All right? Now, thank you very much for saying to me. I want to especially appreciate those who have been following me on my broadcast. I discovered that people are not poor because of demons. People are poor because of, their receptiveness to information and to knowledge. So please, I want to appreciate you so much. The last 1 week has been so busy for me, and a whole lot of people have subscribed to our channels. They are beginning to follow us back to back. We are on a partnership journey. and nobody shall be left behind. My desire for you is to make prosperity. My desire for you is to be rich. And what you need to be rich, to make money, is all around you. All you just need to do is to open the eyes that sees the opportunity and click into it. There you are in the bigs. Thank you very much. Keep recommending your friends to subscribe to my channel and keep following me. God bless you and bye for now.